Greetings once again, Supersonic Racers. Duuz-Diz-Din back again with more of Sonic the Hedgehog by IDW, where previously, as the Clean Sweepstakes race event moves to its next venue, the main ship is followed behind by the various different race fans in their flying vehicles. Unfortunately, a storm has been unleashed, and in order to gain favor with the audience, the Babylon Rose helps to shepherd them to safety. Sonic tries his best to take cover, but because of his last run-in with everyone, his helmet malfunctions, revealing his face. As Jet spots him and tries to chase him down, Sonic is given safe harbor by Night the Owl and Dawn the Rooster. Sonic fills them in on everything that's been going on, as it's revealed that they had actually gotten in touch with the Chaotix about feeling that Clean Sweep isn't as clean as they like to portray themselves. Now knowing that something is fully up and having Dawn fix his gear, Sonic once again goes under the guise of the Masked Rider to investigate, still not having word from Amy and Tail. Meanwhile, as Clutch meets with Surge and Kit, with Surge and her newfound heroism starting to feel as though she's not a right fit for Clutch. Clutch makes it known that he more or less owns them. Should anything about their involvement be revealed, all of the glory that Surge has found goes away in an instant. Realizing that she's essentially just found a new star line, Surge rages to the heavens, increasing the intensity of the storm. But Kit has a plan, something to fully get back at everyone who has underestimated them. Meanwhile, aboard the Restoration ship, Tails and Amy, who have found Belle all tied up, race to tell Belle about everything that's been going on, only for the door to be guarded by Clean Sweep's mascots, revealed to be none other than Rough and Tumble, something that I feel like I should have guessed, but who then alert the rest of Clean Sweep Inc. about what's going on. Danger lies around every corner. Rivals abound. Will Sonic and the gang make it through these trials and tribulations? And can they remain clean and innocent in all of this when so many things have put so much dirt upon their name? Should they be found out? What'll happen next? Join me as I find out, won't you? Man, there's a song by Ninja Sex Party called Phantom Racer, I think it is, and I keep thinking about that every time I see Sonic's Phantom Rider costume. But this is a great cover, and Surge's popularity is continuing to increase. And it helps that jacket is so cool too. Man, I really want to have another Sonic Riders video game, or just some kind of other racing Sonic game. Alright, our story is by Evan Stanley, art by Min Ho Kim, colors by the man Reggie Graham, letters by Sean Lee, associate editor Bixie Mathaeu, editor Thea Chook, and production by Johanna Natali. Alright, it's the roll call. We have Sonic the Hedgehog, the blue blur, fastest thing alive, Miles Tails per hour, tech-savvy sidekick, high-flying genius, Amy Rose, hammer-swinging heroine and restoration ally, Belle the Tinkerer, clumsy marionette and enthusiastic newcomer, Clutch the Possum, seedy businessman, and Eggman tech hoarder, Surge the Tenric, the mean green and roguish speedster, Dawn the Rooster, which is still weird that it's just not Dawn and Night, but it's specifically Dawn the Rooster, Night Shift Custodian, and KTBR 199.2 Nightly. The Chaotix, Ace Detectives, Chaotix Detective Agency, Rough and Tumble, the Skunks, Thugs Out for Revenge, Brothers and Mercenaries. We pick up in the main command deck where you see the various members of Clean Sweep Inc.'s security force kind of looming over the operations there, as Belle stomps into the room screaming, "Clutch, we need to talk." Clutch, going through some papers, says, "Oh, Miss Jewel, what an unexpected pleasure. What brings you to the bridge?" Belle asserts the Phantom Rider. Clutch continues flipping through his paperwork, saying, yes, he's been quite troublesome, but don't worry, I'm managing the situation." Belle, unconvinced, says, "So that's why, without my permission, you flooded the ship with your security and reactivated the shuttle's arsenal for one troublemaker, I'm busy, not blind. Ooh, Belle's going full Karen, but she's using her powers for good. Clutch with a dismissive smile says, I didn't want to bother you. The ship's weapons are merely a precautionary measure. I wouldn't dream of using them. It'll all be under control soon. Belle floats up, meeting Clutch at eye level, saying, That's not good enough. I'm revoking your administrative authority effective immediately. She points to the door, saying, We'll discuss this more later. I'll take care of things from here. Clutch says, Now is that really necessary? Still angry, Belle says, If I have to make you leave, I will. Security, please escort Mr. Clutch to his quarters. But nothing happens. And Clutch says, Perhaps it slipped your mind, but... And he motions to the fact that the security force on this ship works for me. As we see his security all looming over everyone at the command panels. And as Belle looks around, Clutch gives her a wry smile, saying, All for the good of the sweepstakes, of course. And as Clutch gives her a very menacing, wide smile and a glare, he says, Now, as I was saying, I have this situation under control. Yes? Belle floats back down, saying, Of course. I have complete faith that you'll do your job, and I'll do mine. Later, Belle informs Tangle and Whisper, both taken aback as Tangle says, The clean sweep dude Clutch is taking over? They both lean back on the walls of the ship. Tangle says, I had no idea you were in so much trouble. Nervously, Belle says, Neither did I until recently. You two are the only people I'm sure I can trust right now. We have to find a way to stop Clutch. I don't think I can stomach another friendly chat with him. Notice how she kind of left out Duo and Lanolin, Belle says. But even if we deal with Clutch, the Phantom is still a... But Tangle perks up saying, Ooh, it's Sonic! Sonic is the Phantom Rider! Belle notes that actually makes sense. He's been missing since the first race. He must have figured out the whole event that was a scheme way before we did. We have to get in contact with Sonic. With his help, we might actually stand a chance. The only downside to this is there's two Phantom Riders. That's the spanner in the works here, which I actually kind of enjoy. I feel like there's a moment we're going to hit that's going to be really interesting and really tense. Tangle gives Belle a hug, saying, Sounds like a plan. Leave it to us, Jewel. And even Whisper gives a smile and a nod. Meanwhile, the next day during the events of the race, Knight at the mic announces to the people in the audience, Hello to all you X-Gear fans out there, and welcome to the final event of the Clean Sweepstakes. I hope you're excited because we've saved the best for last. But before we get started, I've been asked to share some words from Clean Sweep Inc.'s CEO. We see Clutch looming over him in the back as he reads a note saying, Clean Sweep Inc. and the Restoration are aware that some of you have raised concerns over the reported appearances of the Phantom Rider at our sweepstake. We are taking this situation very seriously. Your security and enjoyment are our highest priority. We thank you for your continued patronage and solemnly pledge to bring this miscreant to justice. But that's enough talk. Let the games begin. And as the audience cheers, I love that you have one person in the audience who has like a Phantom Rider. A little fan battle. I love the colorful cast in the audience. The crowd cheers while Tangle whispers over to Whisper, saying, What are we gonna do about Lanolin and Duo? Maybe we should have told them? Whisper simply says, Let me worry about that. You focus on Sonic. Jet yells over his team, Okay, as soon as Sonic shows, we'll get some answers. The Wave, unconvinced, says, And we will approach him tactfully and respectfully this time, right? Jet simply says, Yes, geez, would you let it go already? And Storm points to himself saying, But Wave, we didn't bring any tax. I don't know why I expected him to actually say something. Ugh. I wasn't ready for that one. Surge and Kit are very oddly silent, while Sonic, the Phantom Rider, is off to the side, saying, Last chance. Tails, Amy, whatever you're up to, You'd better get it done. Time to put on a show. And as Omochao waves the checkered flag for the race to begin, the racers are off. And as Knight announces, he says today's event is a free fall drop straight towards the streets of Central City. There's just one question our riders have to answer. How low will you go? And as everyone dives off the main ship, in comes the Phantom Rider, breaking through the formation, yelling, "Woohoo!" Jet immediately turns on a dime saying, "There you are!" And as Wave tries to call out, "Remember, but she's consumed in the crowd of all the other racers. Knight announces as the various Omochaos film the Phantom Rider saying, "Uh-oh, there he is, the Phantom Rider." The Phantom Rider says, "Aw, you started without me, I'm hurt." But bursting out of the crowd of racing contestants is Surge and Kit. And as Surge goes straight for the rider, Sonic with some smooth moves manages to evade. Knight announces Surge the Tenric is ready to fight. She's been the hero of the sweepstakes so far. If anyone can stop the Phantom, it's her. And as Sonic busts a move on his board, he says, "Come on, Sparky, I've seen 9 volts with more juice than you." "No? Nothing? What's a guy gotta do to get some banner around here? Whoa." And as Surge pulls a shadow, if you've seen the Sonic 3 trailer, he leaps from her bike at full speed, managing to knock the Phantom Rider off his board, with Knight announcing, "Brutal, she's already got him on the back foot." And as Kit manages to get Surge back on her bike, Sonic summons his board back to him with his wrist device saying, "Okay, I'll settle for a frustrating grunt thing, if that's the best she can do." Meanwhile, enter the Diamond Cutters, surrounding the Phantom Rider, as Knight announces, "And the Diamond Cutters have got him." Lanolin announces, "Enough, you're done, Phantom Rider. You won't like the kick on my Wispin at this range. Come quietly and I won't have to use it." Lanolin readies herself, as the Phantom Rider says, "Sorry, but I can't do that." Tangle gives a side eye to Whisper, as they ready themselves, as the Babylon Rogues move in as well. Knight announces, "This is it, folks. The race has ground to a halt as everyone waits to see what the Phantom will do." Lanolin unleashes her Wispin as Sonic goes in for the kick, only for things to be disrupted as Surge comes spin dashing in between them, knocking them both to the side. As Surge clings to Sonic's board, Whisper lets off a shot, but it misses. As Lanolin goes on for another blast, she says, "That's it." But Tangle grabs her arm saying, "No, you'll hit Sonic." Lanolin questions, "Hit who?" The Babylon Rogues go in as Jet screams, "Back off! He's mine! Rogues, get in there!" As Wave simply says, "Very smooth." But suddenly, Kit's water tendrils start going everywhere, blocking everyone's path, cutting off the Babylon Rogues. As Knight says, "Wait, what's this? Are they trying to stop the Phantom or race security?" As Kit manages to bind down both Whisper and Lanolin, but Tangle manages to evade, saying, "So grabby. Well, guess what? I can do that too." As she manages to yank Surge off of Sonic's board, and Sonic gives a thumbs up. But Surge turns to Tangle saying, "Wrong move," and grabs Tangle by the tail, electrocuting her. And as Tangle is stunned, Surge climbs up her tail saying, "Shouldn't have gotten in my way." But the Phantom Rider calls out, "Hey, your fight is with me, isn't it?" Surge lights up saying, "You're darn right it is." Sonic then jumps into the air, going in with a flying kick, saying, "Talia!" And Surge launches off of Tangle with an angry electrified growl. They clash in midair, the Phantom Rider seemingly overwhelming her and ripping off her hairband. And as the Phantom Rider lands on his board, he sees Surge plummeting from the sky, chuckling, "Oh," as she reveals that she has ripped away the Phantom Rider's wrist device, saying, "Gotcha." Sonic's holographic disguise fades away, leaving him revealed. Kit then manages to catch Surge with his water tendrils. Kit sets Surge back on her bike, saying, "Are you alright? I can get some." And Surge simply says, "I'm fine. Don't ask stupid questions, Drippy." As Clutch is visibly growing frustrated behind Knight, Knight announces, The Phantom Rider, is Sonic the Hedgehog?" As the audience gasps, Sonic calls out, I don't get it. What's your game, Surge? And Surge simply calls out, no game, just following orders. Happy now, boss? The Phantom Rider has been destroyed just like yes, leaving Clutch to just growl and seethe. Meanwhile, aboard the vessel, Belle, Tails, and Amy race down the halls as Ruff says, keep running, there's nowhere to go. While Amy points to a corridor saying, let's try this way. While Tumble says, but seriously, bro, where'd they go? Did we lose them? While Ruff says, shh, keep laughing or they'll know. But as our trio turns a corner, they find themselves at a dead end. Belle saying, aw, sawdust. But as Ruff and Tumble, still in their mascot costumes, get close, a shadowy figure is questioned by the two, with Ruff saying, yo, you seen anyone run by? The figure says, run by? Oh, sure. It went right past me. The two race off with Ruff saying, sweet, thanks. And Tumble says, we got him now. With Tails, Amy, and Belle watching them race by, clinging to the wall for their lives. The trio then looked at each other and freak out as Dawn rounds the corner saying, man, you kids are bad at hiding. Amy readies her hammer only to be held back by Tails and Belle, as Amy says, you're gonna be bad at being conscious in a minute, clean sweep creep. Dawn shakes his hand saying, whoa, I'm on your side. He points to them saying, you're Sonic's friends, right? Amy perks up saying, Sonic, you've seen him? Is he okay? Tails comes in asking, what's going on outside? Is the sweepstakes still on? While Belle says, who are you again? Dawn holds up his hand saying, one at a time. I'm Dawn, a friend of the Chaotix. They're missing and I think they're somewhere on this blasted labyrinth of an airship. Like, seriously, how big is this ship? I get it. Racing through some of the levels in most of a Sonic game will make it seem like a labyrinth, but dang, you guys have been lost on this thing for what, 2 days? Tails says, of course, the Chaotix must be investigating Clean Sweep too. That's right up their alley. While Amy then questions, we've been all over the ship and we haven't seen him. And Belle thinks for a moment and says, if I were going to lock somebody up, I know where I'd do it. Cut to some sneaking later as Tails, Belle, Dawn, and Amy enter the lower levels. As Belle motions around saying, welcome to the engine level, y'all. A disgusted Amy says, ugh, I hate it down here. As they come upon a massively locked door, Amy questions, that door leads to the main engine, right? Tails inquisitively says, looks pretty suspicious and locked. Belle simply walks up saying, one sec, I've got it. Tails says, no offense, but I think this is gonna take a bit more than some lock picking. Give me a minute with the Maz Electric and Belle simply says, I work here, remember? And she types in some codes and the door opens. Tails just stuffs his Maz Electronic back at his tail saying, oh right, as the others cheer. The four of them enter in as they peek in through the haze of all of the steam. Dawn saying, keep an eye out. They could be anywhere. But Tails' ears perk up as he turns seeing all three of the Chaotix in a cage. Dawn races over saying, Vector, Charmy, SVO. Vector slowly wakes up and he grabs onto the bars saying, Dawn, and the rest of you sure are a sight for sore eyes. Dawn says, that's my boys. Stuck napping in the cage. Come on, get it together. And he pops Vector on the head as SVO gives a bit of a bow. Charmy says, hey, we were doing really good. You almost got out too. SVO speaks up saying, what are you doing here, Dawn? Dawn says, saving you three, of course. Night did never let me hear the end of it otherwise. Amy questions, and we were here to figure out what's up with Clean Sweep. Sonic's on the outside keeping their security busy. Meanwhile, we have Tails and Belle trying to get off the multitude of friggin' padlocks on their cell. See, I almost thought they were out, but it's just the visual. They're trying to keep Amy at the forefront so they make the bars invisible. Amy notes, but it hasn't been going too well. You three are the first real lead we've had, and you're just as stuck as we are. Vector holds up a flash drive saying, and that's why you should leave the sleuthing to the pros. Check this out. I only found this recently too. This baby's packed full of Clean Sweep's dealings, and man, are they dirty. You name it, they've done it. As soon as this gets out, their history. Amy perks up saying, oh wow. While Dawn notes, not too shabby. And as Tails and Belle high five as they say, got it, having gotten off all the padlocks. The Chaotix are freed. Vector stretches, SBO sighs, and Charmy flies up saying, sweet, sweet freedom. Suddenly, you hear the katang of a cane hitting the ground, and everyone turns up to see Rough and Tumble still in their mascot costumes, as a figure of Clutch moves in behind them saying, "I wasn't aware that we had so many guests aboard. I apologize for not greeting you sooner. That said, I'm afraid I can't let you keep those records or leave." As we also see that he's flanked by several security guards, he says, "What a mess. Crisis inside and out, and so close to the end, too. That's what I get for outsourcing, I suppose. It's been a long time since I really got my hands dirty, but you know what they say. If you want a job done right, best do it yourself." Next time, Touchdown? This was a really fun issue because I'll said it before and I'll say it again. It's always a great time when you just have a massive cast of characters all coming in, all just doing their own thing. It's always so exciting. And we still have a couple more issues until we hit the end. Clutch has managed to stay one step ahead in some regards, but he's not fully aware of who knows who and who can do what in a lot of situations. Honestly, he probably should have made sure Belle couldn't get the word out, but at the same time, Tangle and Whisper could only do so much. Lanolin has very much remained in the dark about a lot of goings on, which I wonder if that'll come to a head at some point. Not to mention, because of the position that Mimic is in, he can't really make a move either. But Sonic has been exposed on top of that, so does he even really need to? And now, what becomes of Surge and Kit? They did everything under the guise of following orders, but will that come back to bite them? What happens now that Sonic has been exposed as the Phantom Rider? And what repercussions could come from that? He's done some kind of dubious things, especially when Mimic was mimicking him, so that creates even more question. But Amy and Tails, I'm glad that their story has finally started to get a little bit more momentum, because they've been racing through this ship for truth, but then again trying not to be spotted or caught or captured or whatever has been a bit of a hindrance on top of everything else. But now that they're backed up with the Chaotix as well as Dawn, the goons, I don't know how tough they're gonna be. But Rough and Tumble and Clutch? That is a big question. It shouldn't be too hard unless Clutch has something up his sleeve, which he definitely does. But what will the audience at large think about all this? It's good that the Chaotix have information, but can they get that to the public? Because a flash drive can be very easily destroyed in this world of people who can shred through metal like it's nothing. So I'm really getting excited in all of this. I've loved this story. This has been a good one. Great stuff by Evan Stanley. But it's also helped that we've had great art and colors on top of that. The whole team has really brought a great story together, and I'm getting excited for the conclusion. So one more issue and then 75 should spell the end of things. Can they reach the finish line and make it a great story overall? Well, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Also remember to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the ride. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din and hope to see you later. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.